Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we've got...
It's my first map.
And it's quite a good one, considering everything. It's clean, it's sharp, there's only a few very minor non-game affecting errors, and all told, it's ready to play. And if you're ready to play and I'm ready to play, just one little job to get out of the way. That's right, hitting the like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day, so thanks for your support. Today's map is Marrano Bay by kbear. Now, first map, so we've not seen kbear before, but I did check out their workshop page and they have made some cities that they've shared. Talk more about them later in the show. There's your start square, highways entering in from the side, and that's really all there is to say about that. And then the terrain heights, lots of flat build plane. It's good for a big city build, this map, very big. Okay, off to the resources. The resources look like so. The oil is off down in the corner around what is the marshy area to make it look like marsh. And then off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a not so rocky hills map theme. We'll be using the clarity lot today, and there's a few little little bits and pieces to subscribe to. Not too much at all. Right, off to the highways. Now, there's one recurring minor error, and it is tiny, and it is regarding the cluster of trees. Let me show you. Now, we've got one here that is just about on the highway, just thinking about it. Now, the highways have been cleared of trees. If I open up, move it, and grab the entire area, you'll see there's nothing underneath the highway, so that is good work. But the thing with the cluster of trees is, of course, it's got a very large footprint. Plus, if you're using random tree rotation, which I think is actually recommended, kbear, the creator has recommended, then you can never be entirely sure for certain which direction the trees will rotate. Here, they are just encroaching onto the road again, which may not actually be the case on their own particular build. If I just give it a little twizzle, move a couple of nodes, you see how it just rotates around and around. So because of its large footprint, it is encroaching here and there. And I could go on and on about it with the show, with the highways, but there's nothing major, and I don't think there's too much in the way of total destruction of the highway, so I think we can let it go. Anyways, I was talking about their city builds. Oh, I had a look at one of them. I even loaded it up. And you know what? I am very tempted to bring back City Edition just to showcase it. Vanilla build, and it looks amazing. So I'm very tempted, but it's all down to time. Don't go expecting a City Edition anytime soon. Tutorials are far more important to me because you guys, well, you you vote with your views, don't you? And it's all down to, if City Edition gets 300 views and a tutorial gets 3,000, I've got to do the tutorials, haven't I? As simple as that. Whereas my heart though wants to do both, and definitely will look at bringing City Edition back at some point. I've got some great ideas. To chat. Just need more hours in the day, and there just aren't going to be any. Anyway, first intersection looks like this. It's very sleek. Just beautiful, isn't it? Have we got any street lamp issues? The answer to that one would appear to be yes, one there. Yeah, it was just almost a bit too sleek. Mind you, it's not actually in the highway, so nothing's driving right through it. So while it does get marked down, it doesn't get marked down with a big red stamp. It gets that little amber one instead. Right, so we've got a lot of flat land in the middle of the map, and somewhat disinteresting highway network. Now, that's only disinteresting because we haven't got a city being built around it just yet. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit long gaps of nothingness. It doesn't make for an exciting show, does it? It does keep my file size down, though. Rendering this will take me no time whatsoever, and that's a good thing for me. Not so good for the viewing, because it's all devil is in the detail, and the detail a little bit sparse. But then you want to be building cities here, not looking at details here. Am I right? Maybe. Next intersection is one of these fellas, the old, yep, up and around, looks a bit like a pistol. It's almost called the pistol intersection. Anyway, right, we've got a little bit of a slightly naughty street lamp going on there. It's not the worst I've ever seen, and it's not causing any problems. I've never to this day voted anybody down on a street lamp doing that. Just the single one on its own, but we did have that one earlier, so it is a little bit of a problem. Now I'm going to speed up a little bit now. We are heading down towards the start square, and frankly there's nothing to see here, so we're going to go a lot faster. We'll get there a lot sooner, because in the start square we've got, do you know what, it's not every day I get to show some intestines on the show, and today we're going to get to show some intestines on the show. I know, it's exciting. I know encroaching trees, we've seen enough of them, we're just moving past these ones. And into the start square, there you go, there's your highway into the start square. Pretty much workable, I think. And right over here will be today's intestinals. Oh yeah. And what do I mean? Well, this is the corner building, I think it's called the Hibiya building, by Ryuichi Kaminogi. There's a lot to love about this one. There is a lot to love about this one. But quickly factoids, because factoids. When dye was added to the soap used by nurses in an operating theatre, 50% of them were shown not to have washed parts of their thumbs. There we are. Anyway, yes, let me talk about this building. First of all, I'm loving this. This is a little upstairs restaurant. You go in up the stairs there. That's a great bit of detailing. Loving that. What more? I'm loving the signages on the side. It just looks amazing. And then when you go to the front there, you get to see, there's a colon. Not every day I get to show a colon on the show, and today I do. And I'm loving the fire exits. How many times have we seen fire exits on buildings that don't align with the doors, and you have a big drop off on the floor there? It just works perfectly here. And apart from me clipping slightly into the building, sorry, back a little bit, thank you. And you'll see that this is actually a working fire. Look, this actually does work. And when you get to the top, you have got fences to stop people falling off the edge around that. And then the part over here, this is just amazing work. Corner building by Ryuichi Kaminogi, fast becoming one of my favourite creators. Well done. If not my favourite creator. Let me think. It's a tough call, isn't it? It's a tough call. Who is your favourite creator? Stick it in the comments down below. I'm expecting lots of shouts for Mr. Maison. Ronic69. Is it Ronic69 or Ronnie X69? I don't know. I've always said Ronix. I suspect it's Ronnie X69. I haven't got a clue. But all I know is, I love their work as well. Ryuichi, I love their work. I could name people forever. Oh, railways. We're onto the railways now. You know those encroaching trees we had earlier? Well, because the highways are quite wide, it wasn't so much of a problem. The railways are less wide, which means the same slightly encroaching trees are encroaching quite a lot, like that. So it's the same problem, but it's exacerbated by the width of the rail. So that is more of an issue. But there's no problem with slopes on this one. Even though we're going to go into the hills, we never get any issues there. Let me think. My favourite creators. I have no clue. No, I'd hate to say one and then sort of like later on somebody said, well, you forgot about, and oh, damn it, I did. I don't know if I should do a personal top 10 creator list. Who would be on yours? Stick it in the comments down below, and I'll, maybe we should put a poll together. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Anyway, as we fly off now into the valley, and there's nothing to see here apart from encroaching trees and approaching fog and approaching intermission. Hurrah! More intermissions to come. Straight after this intermission. See you shortly.
Are you bored with the standard vanilla bridges? Have you seen those lovely custom bridges but don't know how to use them? Ooh, very nice. Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Custom Bridges by BonBonB. Click the information button below.
And so back to Marrano Bay by kbear and the shipping routes. Now, it's a problem. It's not a big problem though. Yes, we've got slightly sharp angles here, so ships coming in from there, going off there, have to do a tight turn. So we could just done with a little connector. And we'll have the same at the other end as well. But in the middle, where we got the harbour, the bay area, that's done nicely. So it comes up here. It's only if you're looking out into sea and you see ships doing something really weird. That's the only problem with that. It's not a huge issue. It's not a game breaker, is it? It's never a game breaker. Water flow, now that can be a game breaker. Now we've got what looks like a river over here, sort of. It's actually marshlands. And if we look down here, you'll see there's no actual water movements down here either. We've got a few lakes. What about the start square? Now the start square is here. This is your water, and there is moving water here. It's edge of map water flow though, and it's pushing into the bay, which means somewhere up here where the arrows stop, it might get a little bit poopy. That said, the bay is pretty big, and I would imagine it will be fine, and you won't have any operational problems with pollution along there because the bay is quite big and it'll disperse, I would imagine. Okay, what about the map as a whole? Lots of build plane and just a few hills for detailing. We'll talk more about those trees in a moment, but these hills, I'm going to say my thought with these hills is they look a little bit like a blanket has been thrown over them. I don't know what it is. Maybe it just needs a little bit more detailing, a few more erosion lines or something like that. But I mean, they look good. They just don't look next tier excellent. But on the first map, this is the best you can hope for. This is amazing for a first map. Now those trees, okay, those clusters of trees, you know how they're encroaching onto the road? They are also not terrain conforming, which means if you put them on the side of a hill, a few of them will hover. And there's nothing you can do about it. They're only good for flat land where you're not too close to the railways, etc. Sirens? Thank you very much, sirens. And then, yeah, it looks particularly bad on this little rocky knoll here. I think that was an ambulance going past on that occasion. Anyway, there we go. And it looks just looks a bit off. But that said, if we ignore the cluster of trees and look at the rest of the map as a whole, I'm just loving the beaches. I'm loving the tree detailing down here. The detailing overall is pretty reasonable, you know. It's pretty reasonable. It's just been held back by a few too many of these encroachments, and not anything that's going to give it a really low score though. And lovely. That's definitely a holiday island there, isn't it? Get a few big hotels on that one, I think. And down here, got another little beach down here as well. Now, in the hills over this side, we do have a lake. There are some lakes in the main part of the map. But this one, I don't really buy into it. You've got the water which would be like running in off the sides of the hills. But why have we got no water running into that one from the sides of the hills? It would get the same amount of rainfall. And then, why have we not got the potential for a river running down here? I mean, this would have been a real winner for me. Turning that area into one big lake, or split level lake, maybe with a dam running across the middle, and then having the river running down to the bay, maybe somewhere over there. We have got all these lakes here just to break up the map a little bit, so you can't just do one big grid. We've got the marshlands over here as well, which we'll go have a little look at in a moment. This looks pretty cool. But what do you think of the map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. I predict it will be in there. I just got a feeling you guys are going to rate this thing up, because I like it. I like it a lot. Do I like it a lot to give it a huge score for aesthetics? And the answer is sort of. It's a high 3 for me. Doesn't quite break into that 4th star, but for a first map, it's a very, very excellent attempt. Another siren. Something's happening somewhere. Details. Detailing is, I would say this is 4 stars. But I have to knock a star off for the amount of encroaching trees and the streetlight clipping as well. And also hovering bushes on hills. So yeah, I have to lose a star for that. It would have got 4 stars otherwise. And gameplay potential, very playable. If you don't mind the minor glitchy bits, which you can fix as you're going along, with basically a bulldozer, it's really good map. It's actually a really good map. I'm gonna give it 4 stars for gameplay. So basically, just a little bit more work on the detailing, and this would have got the BonBonB seal of approval. And for a first map, that is a really good, excellent effort. Marrano Bay by kbear. And their cities are pretty damn fine too. Definitely worth checking out their cities. Follow the link in the description. Go on, do it. follow them, have a little look at their cities. If you've got time to have a look at a vanilla city, brilliant. I am definitely on my short list of things to do. Well, my very long list of things to do. It's too long a list. Things for you to do. Yes, you can click a link on the screen now to follow things, or join me on Patreon for just $1 a month, and you too can get your name in the credits. Is it too late for this month? The answer is no. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. I've been BonBonB, and you've been very, very welcome.